On Christmas Day in the year 2001, 2002, and 2003, I, with my parents, went to see Lord of the Rings in movie theaters on Christmas Day. Lord of the Rings is my favorite series of all time, by far. Nothing else is even remotely close. And now, you know, Rings of Power wasn't enough. You know, they haven't humiliated us enough. They haven't done enough race swaps. They haven't done enough, like fucking narrative shifts. Now, Stephen Colbert is going to be writing the new Lord of the Rings. Stephen Colbert is a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. If there's anything that Stephen Colbert could theoretically do correctly, it would be Lord of the Rings. But man, he sure hasn't done a lot correctly recently, hasn't he?
They say that those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
And looking at how Hollywood has treated The Lord of the Rings over the past couple of decades, I can't help but think there's a grain of truth in that. Just like Star Wars before it, it all began with the classic original trilogy, born from a sublime blend of inspired writing, technical skill, and timeless themes of heroism and adventure, followed by an overblown and underwhelming trilogy of prequels made by the same people, just older and lamer now, that failed to recapture the magic of the originals. And finally,
I will never forget. My mom and I would watch Lord of the Rings together. My mom and I watched Lord of the Rings together. I'm not even kidding you guys. Probably 300 times. Like one of the movies. Most of the time, the first one. And I remember her at the movie theater for The Hobbit. She was like this. And it was like during the barrel scene. And she's like this. Just crashed out.
Decades later, with money-hungry studios desperate to squeeze a bit more money out of old IPs before the actors get too old or die, we come at last to the end game.
Lord of the Rings.
Make it city!
We already saw it with Rings of Power,
We did.
Amazon's cringy attempt to compensate for a lack of artistic merit and creative ability with embarrassing amounts of money. And let's be honest, you don't need me to tell you what a fucking train wreck that turned out to be. It's great for us content creators though.
It is.
But
great.
even stranger things are afoot at Warner Brothers, arguably the dumbest studio in Hollywood with a massive catalogue of IPs that they somehow managed to fumble time and time again.
Isn't it crazy that they did that back in the early 2000s? Like the fact that it still looks good even now. That's just insane. Like even if you freeze it, like it still looks good.
Time again.
Damn.
First up was the War of the Rohirrim. Remember that?
I didn't watch that because I found out there was a girl as the main character. I said, pfft. Really? Like, I mean, really?
Me neither. An animated movie that was sharted out as quickly as possible so that Warner could retain the film rights to the franchise, which probably explains why more than 50 different animation studios were pulled in to get it finished in time, and why it looks janky as fuck. It was billed as the story of legendary warrior Helm Hammerhand in his last stand at the fortress of Helm's Deep, but really it was all just a bait and switch to focus on his daughter Hera, a character
I knew it.
that gets mentioned in like one sentence of the original appendices and was so unimportant that Tolkien didn't even bother giving her a name. And this guy names fucking everything. And of course, she turns out to be the usual generic invincible girl boss who beats everyone and wins at everything because...
Of course. I love the fact that I totally stereotyped the show. I was completely biased and I was completely right.
Modern writing. But it's okay
right.
because nobody fucking watched the movie anyway, and it was a massive flop. Then came the baffling announcement of The Hunt for Gollum, a prequel about Aragorn's quest to track down and capture Gollum sometime after Bilbo took the ring from him. A tiny fragment of the original book where everyone knows the outcome already that was summarized in like 2 paragraphs at the Council of Elrond's. Like... Why? Who the fuck even asked for this? How do you expect the original actors to reprise their roles when they're all 20 years older now? Why is Andy...
Exactly, yeah, it's weird. Like, I even felt that way about Better Call Saul. It's just weird. He right.
Circus directing it. I mean, I've seen his body of work as a director, and it's not impressive. When I think about all the incredible side stories...
2001, bro. 2001. Insane. Crazy. Generational.
Side stories, tales of forgotten heroism, tragic love, and bitter betrayal that you could tell in the Lord of the Rings universe. Why go for something as goofy and pointless as this? Jesus. Anyway, I've dodged it long enough. Let's get this over with, shall we?
The Better Call Saul was good? I didn't say it wasn't good.
No, was it? No!
It's weird
just like McCoy here, it's time to face my deepest pain. Last night, Peter Jackson took to the internet to announce yet another Lord of the Rings film project that nobody asked for or wanted. And this is when shit truly got real.
Oh, actually, why don't I get somebody else to explain it? Because we've got a very special partner that we're working with. And you can see for yourself. Hang on. There we go. Hello?
Hi, Peter.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
When did he have hair?
The fuck? Why in the name of Sauron's molten arsepipe would you bring in this tragically unfunny, propaganda-spewing clown to write your multi-million-dollar Lord of the Rings movie?
Man.
A man whose illustrious screenwriting credits include such gems as Strangers with Candy and... why are we bringing talk show hosts in to write our movies now? Like, is Oprah Winfrey gonna write the next Star Wars movie? How about we...
I mean, he knows a lot about Tolkien. I think it's fine. Like, if the thing is that I just worry that it's gonna be, like, I don't know if it's gonna be gay, right? But, like, it's gonna suck. I think it's gonna suck. I do. I think Stephen Colbert lost the juice. He did. I think he's lost the juice. He used to have it. He used to be that guy. I don't know if he's that guy anymore.
Get Jimmy Kimmel in to do the next Jurassic Park. Actually, that would probably be an improvement at this point, to be honest. Now, in fairness to old Steven here, he is a big Lord of the Rings nerd, although fuck knows what a guy like him sees in Tolkien's pro-Western, anti-authoritarian story of friendship, loyalty, honor, masculine heroism, and clearly defined morality. But there's a big old difference between knowing the lore of a fictional world and actually writing a good story with it. Just ask Ryan Johnson. Then there's his politics, of which there are many. Like, remember when Peter Jackson famously said,
We didn't want to put any of our own, certainly in terms of the thematic material, we didn't want to put any of our own baggage. I mean, we had no interest in...
Exactly. Because there's a reason why the person that probably got paid the most money for this movie is a guy that's dead that just wrote the book. Like, that's... Well, exactly, bro. Like, that's... See, thank God. Yes.
Putting our messages into this movie, but we thought that we should honor Tolkien by putting his messages into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect the same attitude from Stephen Colbert, a man so utterly consumed by his hatred of the Orange Man that he drove away his own audience and nuked his talk show. Jesus, this guy almost makes Mark Hamill look normal. The problem is, people like that can literally never let go of their political hang-ups. It's
No, I can't guarantee you, but like I find that there's a very high probability that it's going to suck because of that.
Possible because it becomes bound up in the very core of who they are. It seeps into everything they say and do, and if he's allowed to write a script for Lord of the Rings, well, I think you can imagine who Sauron is going to become a clumsy...
We're going to make Mordor great again.
...allegory for... Speaking of which, let us review the outline of this epic saga in the making, shall we? As per the report from Deadline News, The Lord of the Rings, Shadow of the Past is set 14 years after the passing of Frodo. Wow. Sam, Merry and Pippin set out to retrace the first steps of their adventure. Meanwhile, Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long-buried...
I think that it...
secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began. Tell you what, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you 3 guesses about who the real protagonist of this movie turns out to be, and here's a little hint to get you started. It's not going to be Sam, Mary, or Pippin. No, it's so fucking funny when life literally becomes the meme. When you can straight up predict exactly what's going to happen from like 10 nautical miles away, and it still does. Like, if I was to predict what Hollywood writers would do if they were asked to write a sequel to Lord of the Rings, it would basically be this. Defrost the original cast and have them come back playing older, pussified versions of their characters who learn the true meaning of adventure from a younger, more diverse, more female replacement that doesn't just outshine them in every way possible, but also makes them realize they were never really that heroic in the first place.
Man.
To make it shitty.
In fact, screw it, we might as well race swap a legacy character like Aragorn while we're at it. I mean, I know Hollywood desperately wants to do it. It's a battle we're gonna fight and lose sooner or later, so we might as well get it over with now. No,
I think that, like, again, the moment that I see a race swap that's done in a story, I just usually assume the story's gonna be garbage. I do. And, like, I make exceptions for, like, S-tier actors and, like, really well-known actors. Like, I think they had Lawrence Fishburne play fucking, like, what's his name? Regis in Witcher. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, like, 99% of them, bro, like, I don't know. Somebody says Gandalf the Black.
Not only does this crap remind me of the historical enshittification of Star Wars, but I also can't help thinking of James Gunn's DCU by James Gunn. That guy has access to some of the greatest superhero characters in history. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Nightwing, and instead of exploiting his biggest assets, he wastes huge amounts of time, money, and fan goodwill churning out irrelevant vanity projects like Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and Clayface. All of this is to say that I'd trust Stephen Colbert to make a good Lord of the Rings movie about as much as I'd trust Movie Bob with my birthday cake. And the sad realization here is, this shit's never gonna stop, is it? For a long time, it really felt like Hollywood was—
It eventually will. I think it's on its way out. I think it's obviously on its way out because the thing is that these shows that are coming out are failing. They are. They're massively failing. And then meanwhile, shows that don't do this kind of stuff are succeeding. And when? I don't know, probably, like, it's not going to happen. It's not like there's going to be, okay, we won. There's no more black people in movies anymore. That's not what's going to happen, right? But I think that there is going to be a slow recession of this stuff, and I think it's already happening to begin with. It is, because, like, the shows fundamentally just aren't making money. They're not making money. That's it.
Smart enough or just scared enough not to mess with Lord of the Rings and just appreciate a job well done. That time, however, has long since passed, and I can't help thinking that Lord of the Rings is rapidly becoming the new Star Wars. Just another convenient IP to be strip-mined until there's nothing left. And the more crap like this that gets churned out, the more it slowly tarnishes the legacy of Tolkien's masterpiece. We'll always have the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, well, until they remake it for modern audiences. But the time—
I won't care. I won't give a shit. Like, the thing is that I've always looked at, like, I even saw Shadow of Mordor this way. I looked at it as fan fiction. Like, it's just elaborate fan fiction, same as Rings of Power. It's not the real stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's like, you know, like, you can't go on DeviantArt and then get mad that they have, like, a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog driving around in a car. Like, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. But at the same time, you know, I wish we had good stuff, too. I do. Shadow of Mordor was actually good, though. I know that, but I still viewed it as fan fiction. I still did.
When we could actually do justice to Tolkien's work has long since passed. And somehow I don't think Stephen Colbert is going to bring it back. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
I think that there is a 0% chance that they make a good Lord of the Rings show or adaptation in, like, the next 10 years. I think a 0% chance. I'm going to link you guys the video. Like, I do feel this way. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is, right? That's just the way it is. He sounds so defeated. Well, Lord of the Rings is, like, most people, like, not most people, but, like, many people view Lord of the Rings as, like, their favorite series ever. It feels like, I mean, this is, like, their favorite movies ever. I feel like Lord of the Rings is probably one of the most popular movies in all of, like, American culture. So, I mean, the fact that this is something that, you know, like, they're not doing very well and, like, they've been fucking up, then I feel like it's a huge problem. It's sad.